So I did have the rest of that Bordeaux tonight, the one I talked about yesterday. No better. 3 to 5. I gave it. I know I don't really care about scores as much, but I do need to know if I'm gonna repeat buy it. I'm always looking for a case type of weekday wine. I don't buy a lot of case wines, but when I find something I can enjoy over the weekdays, that's at a high quality price, I absolutely do it. The 2020 Rieslings from Standing Stone, the 20-year-old Rieslings from Germany, and I haven't had a red that I bought a case of yet, but that Ramirez de la Piscina 2017 Reserva, I absolutely am considering just buying a case and having it, because like I said, there's vintage variation in that specific wine. That 2017 is far better than some of the vintages I've had in the past of it. So that is that. But what I just opened is a Sheldrake Point from the Finger Lakes again, Pinot Gris 2013. And honestly, I thought this wine was going to be crap. I bought it because it was inexpensive and it was 10 years age and it's a Pinot Gris. Oops, that's the camera. Let's put this on here. So it's a Pinot Gris, and you don't see a ton of Pinot Gris up in the Finger Lakes. Now, I think about it. You see Chardonnay, you see Riesling, you see Gewürztraminer, which I don't really love. Actually, I just don't like Gewürztraminer. I'm trying to think of the other white you might see up there. You don't see a ton of Pinot Gris. They call it Pinot Grigio in Italy. Pinot Gris is the grape. I think it does really well in Italy, certain parts of Italy. It's also got Pinot Grigio's got a horrendous reputation for being a bland, crap white wine. Done correctly, it's got a tropical thing going. This absolutely has a tropical thing going. And for a 10-year-old wine, I thought this would be more developed. It isn't. It absolutely isn't. I cannot believe it's not more developed. I thought this wine would be over the top, over the hill, and just past its prime by a long shot. Maybe not even developed, maybe just desiccated and rotting. Meanwhile, it still has some of those tropical, it still has some of those tree fruit type of things, peaches and some other areas. Surprising, very surprising. On the palate, it's got a slightly aged character, but it's developing. But this one could go longer, which is hard to believe. This is exceptionally good. I actually am awestruck at how good this is. And I think it was very inexpensive. But I don't think you're going up to the Finger Lakes to buy Pinot Gris. So when I saw a 10-year-old Pinot Gris, it was just sitting there at Sheldrake, I knew nobody was buying that thing. So I said I'd buy one bottle to check it out, and I absolutely would buy more. Not a case. If this was already fully developed and it had all those fully developed aromas and flavors, I debate it, but it doesn't. So it's still developing. But I think this wine had a very high acidity. Acidity's still there. The length's still there. This wine's great. It's hard to believe. I don't know what I paid, but I want to say not more than $25. So I typically tell people you get some of the best Pinot Gris from Alsace. Alsace has phenomenal Pinot Gris, but you got to sort of pay for it. The higher end Pinot Gris from Alsace are expensive. The higher end Pinot Gris from Italy are expensive. And I've had some, but they haven't knocked my socks off. So I don't gravitate to that grape. I just don't. This is good. I would definitely try more aged Pinot Gris from the Riesling, from the Finger Lakes, but odds are won't find it. When you go to Finger Lakes, it's mostly Riesling, and the shards are when you Sheldrake makes an amazing shard, and aged, it's phenomenal. It's what got me to want every aged white wine from the Finger Lakes. I think it was an 01. So it was phenomenal. I think I have one left and sort of saving it for, I don't know, but it was fully developed and just near perfect, if not perfect, aged white. The 2009 Cuvée de Syrah I have is the best white, aged white I've ever had, fully developed at 2009. Unfortunately unaffordable now for me, but when I bought them, they were. I think I've spoken about it so many times because I think I've gone through 18 bottles, 2 cases of it, whatever it was. Just, gosh, I wish I had more left. I think I got 4 or 5 left, but it was just so good I couldn't stop drinking it. So it's good acidity. It's good mouthfeel. Still peaches on the palate. There's the beginning of that. It's developing into being an aged white. This is, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It's got a little bit of an oily texture. There's texture in this wine. I can't really explain. I have no idea about the vinification, but it's a textured white. It's good. It's really good. Pleasantly surprised. Another pleasantly surprising wine. So minus that Bordeaux from the last 2 nights, I've had a string of some very pleasant wines. I'm hoping that St. Cosme, Côte de Rhône is great. You know, I sometimes forget about the Southern Rhone because I bought Chaves Côte de Rhône, and I went out after I had it once. It was phenomenal. It was like $22, maybe sub 20. Went out and bought like 9 of them, and I opened one, and it was awful. And I thought it was corked. I opened another one. Same exact aroma, same vintage. It had a massive amount of Brettanomyces in it. Massive. And there's no way that's not flawed. It was undrinkable. Undrinkable because of the amount of Brettanomyces on it, that bacteria. It definitely infected that wine, I think, that vintage. But I've had that previous vintage, and the wines were great. And Chaves is, you know, the great Syrah Hermitage producer, one of the greats, well, if not the greatest in the world. And that's not his Hermitage, but it's a very inexpensive red that they make with I don't know if it's a sister company, sister winery, but it was undrinkable because of the Brett. And I was a little hesitant because, I tell that story, I was hesitant because of that wine to buy any more Southern Rhone wines for a bit. I guess I got a little weird about it until at Forge Cellars, who has a partnership with St. Cosme. Well, the owner of St. Cosme, I don't know the Frenchman's name. He started this Forge Cellars, and beautiful winery, beautiful, and the wines are beautiful, and they have tons of single vineyard Rieslings, tons, almost an overabundance, and some were phenomenal. The Seneca, there's 2, the orchard, Peach Orchard, was it? Oh, phenomenal. And there was another one that's got more of a German Riesling type of feel to it. Phenomenal. Just their 2020s were awesome. About $28 each, so a little higher than some of the others. Like Standing Stone was like in the 20. Spent a few more bucks, but really well done. Well, Chateau St. Cosme has the ownership of it, and they sell their wines there, which is how I got to try that Gigondas, I think it was the Laklaus, whatever it was. Just amazing. But you're talking about a $165 bottle of wine, not even sold in the United States. You had to drink it at the winery. It was a beautiful experience. They had the Spanish ham Iberico, the top of the line Iberico. So like, ordered that with that wine. It was an unbelievable pairing. So yeah, you had to open the bottle. You couldn't buy them. It wasn't retail. Buy and drink. You could cork it and take it home, but they had to open it for you. I think it was a great experience. I would absolutely do it again and try one of the other expressions. There was 3. I chose that one. I just did some searches. I don't know. That one I'm sure they're all great. But it was so good and so complex, but just so young too. But so be it. When you get to decant it, just popped it, poured it, which is insane for a $165 bottle of wine. It was so damn young and so well made. Gosh, I am waxing poetic about this. 10 minutes on the couch again. These couch videos are getting way too long. They're supposed to be like 2 minutes. So anyway, the whole thing started about this Pinot Gris and the Finger Lakes in general. Just think I want to possibly visit the Canadian wine region. There's a bunch, I think. I don't have a mental map of the Canadian wine regions, but because of global warming to a degree, I think the Finger Lakes have gotten riper. Some of the places in Canada have gotten riper. Niagara Escarpment is one. I forget some of the other ones. Ontario, I forget. But they claim they're making some really, really great wine up there. Not just ice wine anymore. So maybe a future trip. Maybe. So if I end up in Napa, I'm probably never coming home. All right. Have a good night.